Hi, welcome back to Grains in Small Places. And today we're going to be making a nice, chewy, delicious granola bar. And granola bars have been one of those things that can sometimes be difficult to make because they're either too firm or not chewy enough or they crumble apart. But I was talking with my niece and my daughter the other day, and my niece had recommended a different method and some ways to make a chewy granola bar, and I said, hey, can I share this with the people? So I went ahead and asked her to send me the recipe and all of that, and I'll make sure to put a link down in the description box below on how we do this and the recipe, and you can kind of mix and match with seeds and grains and add-ins and mix-ins and things to your liking. But I wanted to show you her little idea of how to do this and how they really turned out chewy, which is like the perfect texture that we're always looking for. So thank you to her for sharing this with us, because I've always had a hard time getting that perfect texture. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to my pan, this is a 4-quart saucepan. I'm going to do a half a stick of butter or 1/4 cup of butter. I will make sure to link the recipe down below. We'll have the weights and the volume, but I'm going to put my butter in here. We're also going to put a 1/4 cup of honey, or you could use maple syrup, and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. So again, you could use maple syrup in place of the brown sugar. So I'm going to use, this is my raw cane sugar. We've been making our own brown sugar at home. I do have a recipe to show you how to make your own brown sugar and powdered sugar out of raw cane sugar. But basically, instead of just making this into brown sugar, I'm just going to add the molasses right in here. If you have brown sugar, you can do brown sugar instead of the cane sugar with the molasses. This has been our favorite molasses. This is the old-fashioned molasses we got from our last Azure haul. Okay, and this is some raw local honey. It's going to be the 1/4 cup. And then a big tablespoon of peanut butter. If you don't do peanut butter and you do like almond butter, you can substitute almond butter or any of the nut butter substitutes. And then I'm going to just cook this on a medium heat to get everything incorporated and melty. And we're just going to heat it until it's melty and it starts to bubble up. We're going to make these in like 2 bread pans. You could butter those or grease those really well, or just line them with parchment paper. I think we're just going to go ahead and line it with parchment paper. But you don't want your heat to be too high here, because we don't want to turn this into like a hardtack candy or anything like that. It already smells really good. I'm excited to give these a try because, like I was saying before, all the other granola recipes that I've tried haven't been that chewy texture that we always are looking for. It's always like either dry or crumbly, or I don't know. But this one is also like one of the no-bake granola bar recipes. So once this is cooked, we put everything in there and we don't have to bake it. So kind of like, I guess, like a Rice Krispie idea, but no marshmallows. However, I do think that stirring in some mini marshmallows at the end might be a fun added treat. So I'm just going to get that butter melted. Again, this isn't on a very high heat. This is just like a medium heat, just enough to get this all melted and start to bubble. Just want to make sure that you're stirring throughout so nothing gets stuck to the bottom. And then the reason I'm using like a larger 4-quart saucepan here is so that we can just mix everything up in this pan rather than having to take this, pour it out into another bowl to mix in all the ingredients. So I chose a bigger bowl than I would, or a bigger pan than I would actually need, because if I was going to just heat this up, I would choose a smaller pan if that was the only thing I was going to be doing. Starting to get some bubbling here. All right, so now that we're getting all this bubbling here, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat. Push this to the side. And then we can start putting in the other ingredients. This one I'm going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. This is my little half teaspoon measuring. And then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, which I also have a video on how you can make your own vanilla extract at home, along with that different video of the sugars I was talking about. I'll try to remember to link both of those videos down in the description box below for you. All right, we're just going to give that a mix until the cinnamon and vanilla all gets mixed in. That smells amazing. Okay, and then we're going to add in our oats. So this is a 1.5 cups of rolled oats. Again, the recipe, I'll have the weights for you as well. We're going to use the rolled oats. If you want to use like an oat flaker, you can use whole oat groats, and you can roll or flake those with your flaker. These, I just got some rolled oats already. And then 2 cups of some crispy rice cereal. And then if you want to add like nuts or seeds here, you absolutely can do that. So you could add in pumpkin seeds or sesame seeds, flaxseed, chia seeds, stuff like that. So with the flax and chia seeds, don't add too many because those tend to pull moisture out. But that looks pretty good. That's nice and incorporated. And then what we're going to do is put this in my bread pans and then put some mini chocolate chips on top. So let me go ahead and set this to the side and grab my bread pans. These are just my stainless steel bread pans. All right, and then while this is still warm, I'm gonna just put about half mixture into each one of these pans. Okay, and then just even this out. I don't want to flatten these too much because we're going to flatten these again after we add in our chocolate chips. So we're going to use about 1/3 cup of chocolate chips and just kind of sprinkle that over the top evenly. And if you don't have many chocolate chips, you could use any size chocolate chips. If you want to use peanut butter chips in the place, you could do that as well. And then I'm just going to use this side of the parchment paper. And press this into place. And then these are going to go in the refrigerator for about 1 to 2 hours, and then we can take them out and slice them. So I'll bring you back after they have chilled. Okay, they've cooled. Now we're going to go ahead and cut them into strips. You can cut them as wide or as small as you want them for your serving sizes. Break one in. Ooh, you want to try one? They're nice and chewy, and they're not hard and brittle and not falling apart. I love these. I call this recipe a win. Thanks, Brianna. Okay, so the consensus is we would do the cinnamon as optional, and then because some of us liked it and some of us didn't like the cinnamon but loved the rest of it, because the cinnamon overpowers a little bit of the peanut butter flavor. But also Matt had mentioned he would love to have like some peanut butter chips and some chocolate chips mixed in here, so I think that would be a good addition also. So play with it, see what you guys like. Maybe dried cranberries would be good in this if you like that, or some chopped up walnuts or pecans or anything like that. But overall, these are pretty delicious. Thanks for hanging out with me today while we made my niece's chewy granola bars. I will make sure to put that recipe down in the description box below, so that way you guys can try these out. Let me know what your favorite add-ins to granola bars are, or your favorite flavors or things like that down in the comments below. I always love hearing from you and all the different ideas and all the different flavor combinations and things like that. So I love reading through those. I hope this video was helpful to you. So thanks for stopping by Grains of Small Places. Goodbye.